I was going to talk about Deadpool 3, but they ain't really nothing to say about that.
I mean, it's coming.
It's coming. It's
It's gonna be
confirmed.
rated R. You know,
Ryan
eventually by that
Reynolds.
time, Disney will wisen up and open up their full catalog to people in America because I think it's international right now where you can have the star section, which is basically their Fox catalog
Oh,
and all the rated R content.
mm.
So
the
you know,
isn't the Wolverine up there now? The
I feel
Wolverine.
it might be, but the Wolverine was PG-13.
Well, that's like the
It was a hard PG-13.
RPG 13,
Like they actually have some F bombs in there.
and a lot of people like got dismembered. Like there's
Yeah,
a lot of limbs
that's what I'm
flying in
saying. It's
that
a
movie.
hard PG-13. You know, I
Yo,
think they got away with a couple things like, yeah, I chopped his head off, but there was no blood on the claw.
yo,
See, ain't that it works, right?
yo.
Magic.
I love how the X-Men movies just like changed how violent the characters could be. Like
I
before
mean,
in the comics, like people would die, but it would be like stuff that would happen off panel. Like you would see splats of blood and black, like somebody got slashed. You wouldn't really see Wolverine's claws going through somebody's chest until X2.
but you got to think about it though. Like we were going through a certain period where, it's kind to me, it's kind of like it's no different than it's happened in the comics. It
Mm-hmm.
happens in real life. Where we go through these phases of we want everything to be nice and shiny and good and cool, the golden era, right, with Superman and all that. And then later we're like, yo, we want something dark. And then we want, we the rise of the anti-heroes. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? You get like those that retribution, I guess. You go from the do the twist to all of a sudden hardcore rock and roll. Like you get that counter, and then it's gonna shift again. Probably in another couple of years where like we don't have to be killing everybody all the time. Can we get some positivity? So
You
I
know,
feel like that's all that happened.
I think it only depends on the type of character as to whether or not that's allowed, right? If Zack Snyder was directing a Wolverine movie, everybody would be praising this man. Get as violent, cut off as many limbs as you want, go crazy. But
That's that,
the
but that's
fact
the
that he
nature
has
of the character.
Batman breaking
But that's the
bones and killing people and shooting them with guns, then it's a little out off the chain, right? People don't
but
really
was
want to see Superman and Batman that dark the way they want to see Wolverine and the X-Men that dark.
But wasn't that always the nature of the character though? Because with Wolverine, for example, I don't think that ever worked for him when he wasn't, edgy and dark. I
No,
mean,
I'm
let's
with
let's
you.
think about what was it, Wolverine and the X-Men. And he was like the leader, the teacher. He was the Professor X. And I was like,
I
bro, you
love
out your
Wolverine
element. This
X
ain't
Men.
you.
I ain't even gonna go into this. Man, I love that cartoon. We
I
got
loved it too, but
X-23
he
from
was
that
out of
joint.
sync for a character that was
It
not
was
for
character
him.
growth.
Yeah, okay.
um,
Wolverine's had decades to grow,
no, but
centuries.
I'm just saying, like there's certain characters that we want to see in certain types of films, right? When Batman Returns first came out and people started seeing Batman killing villains in the movie, there was like comments from people. But it's not like that went unnoticed that he dropped a dude in the sewer and had a bomb attached to his chest. Like people remember that. Like, yo, wait, I don't think he survived. Um, if
It happened.
Wolverine or some of the X Men did it, nobody would have batted an eye. Like
No,
we want to
it
see the
depends on the
gritty.
character.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then look what happened to Batman over time. Now he's breaking people's legs, talking about something not walk. Like, I'm not
Yo,
gonna kill you, but I'm gonna bust your jaw and ask
yo,
you to
they,
talk.
I don't know. Yo, Matt Reeves is crazy. Yo, Matt Reeves is crazy.
I'm
I don't
fine
know
with it.
what
I
he's
mean,
doing
look,
with that character.
I'm be honest too. Like, I feel like I I know this is a
Yo,
side topic, but I feel like nobody's actually gotten the real Batman down, and that includes. I would say Matt Reeves. That definitely includes Nolan. I feel like everybody's always taken one aspect
only
of
one person
Batman
got it down.
and not really emphasized how complex this dude really is. And it's just one of those things where I'm like, man, one day, hopefully, somebody will put it all together that this dude is he's so tragically flawed but he excels in so many different areas, but people only want to focus on one or the other. And I'm like, no, it's a combination. Like, yeah, I don't know.
Here's
We'll
my
see.
dream. Because there is one perfect interpretation of Batman that everybody universally agrees to, and
The
that's the
animated
one
series?
Bruce Timm in the animated series.
Agreed.
Now, here's my absolute dream. I'm dreaming that DC is sitting there and they're watching what Star Wars is doing with Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau, and they're sitting there and they're saying, "Hey, there was only one interpretation of Star Wars that people liked in the past 20 years, and it was the Clone Wars. And Dave Filoni was in charge of it, right? So let's get him involved in the live action." So the idea that Bruce Timm has actually been killing it, winning awards, taking all the characters, critical acclaim for decades, introducing characters to us that would make that Harley Quinn. He created Harley Quinn.
He knows what he's doing.
The man knows what he's doing. If they sit there and they just realize that Bruce Timm needs to be involved
Dude, when I
in
tell
the
you,
live
this
action.
man has given us one of the most complete packages when it comes to Batman. Like, I remember watching this as a kid, and yeah, Batman was scary. Batman was the Dark Knight and stuff like that. And then I remember there were moments where this man was crying. I'm like, is that level of depth? Is that complexity within
I remember
the character?
when they showed Dick Grayson's origin.
Yeah.
And you saw the whole, it was like a two-parter, and it was mostly about Dick Grayson, and then like Batman showed
Brian Grayson's,
Yep. And he's just trying to like investigate the murder of his parents after all the emotion.
Yeah.
The emotion.
Yeah. Or even later on when he left to become Nightwing.
That was, I think that was what broke it. He quit after that. He like decked Batman and left the Batcave.
Mm-hmm. And what I liked about it was like Batman was like, yeah, I'll let you do that. I know you needed it, so I'll let you hit me. It's okay.
Listen, if Bruce Timm wrote it and Zack Snyder directed it, I'd be okay.
No.
And you just don't let Zack have any creative.
Yeah, you can't
control.
let Zack do nothing else. It's gotta look. Zack
let
needs
Bruce
the
Timm
tightest
do
script.
Character design.
He needs the tightest script. Like, bro, don't wiggle room nothing.
Nothing.
You just stick to the script.
You just sit here and you point that camera. Okay.
Honestly, look. Let me tell you something. I think Zack Snyder would be much better if he were given smaller, tighter properties. You give him a Suicide Squad where he can do whatever he wants with characters that don't have a lot of baggage, that don't have high expectations. He will work wonders. I guarantee you. I bet you, because I do have high anticipation for James Gunn's Suicide Squad.
Mm-hmm.
I bet you Zack Snyder would kill that one. I bet he would destroy whatever James Gunn is about to do, and I know James Gunn is about to do something good. So,
I don't know about that.
Yeah,
I'm still waiting for James Gunn to prove himself to me.
Stop it. Stop playing. Did you see Brightburn?
No.
He didn't direct it. He was a producer.
All right.
It was still cool. Brightburn was cool though.
What did he direct?
He directed The Guardians 1 and 2.
Hold on, let me see. He directed Slither.
That's a cult.
He directed
fan favorite.
Super with James Gunn and Rainn Wilson. I'm sorry, but Rainn Wilson.
Yeah.
You don't remember that? Shut up, crime. Like it was like his own little.
I want to say Super was also connected to Brightburn, or somebody said it might have been.
And then there was Guardians of the Galaxy, and then Guardians 2. He hasn't directed anything but 2 other movies.
I mean, Guardians is like a pretty popular movie. Like that movie did very well. Even though I do argue,
let's not do this again.
All it did was copy the Avengers.
Let's not do this again. James Gunn has to prove himself.
Nothing.
He's going to be the in my book.
Nothing.
In my book,
hey, look, the fans have spoken. The box office has spoken. The critical reviews have spoken.
Here's what I'm gonna call this: Guardians of the Galaxy is the equivalent of Star Trek 1. Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is the equivalent of Star Trek 2. Tell me J.J. Abrams is a good director. James Gunn has to prove himself, dude. Guardians of the Galaxy 2 wasn't.
If you were to tell me I had to pick between JJ and James Gunn, I'd pick
I'm going to
James
pick
Gunn.
James Gunn because he hasn't
Yeah.
disappointed me yet.
Yeah.
Right?
So
But
what else do you want him?
if I had at the time when we were looking for Star Wars directors, J.J. Abrams looked like not a bad choice.
I didn't want him.
Neither did I, but Disney said it's not. It could have been worse.
I mean, we knew he was the safe choice. He was Ron Howard light.
Ron Howard, all right, I'm gonna leave that alone. I'm not gonna talk about Ron Howard. You know how I feel about him. He's an amazing director. But I would have preferred that people they didn't choose JJ. And I'm in the same boat right now. James Gunn, I really enjoyed the first Guardians of the Galaxy. Guardians of the Galaxy 2 to me was a supreme disappointment. So I'm hoping Suicide Squad is really good.
I think it'll be fine.